And the beauty of all of these things, education, innovation, and rejuvenation, is that you're creating jobs by making that happen. So you're putting people to work on the highways and byways and the bridges, the people that have been on the sidelines, the construction industry's been down. You're keeping teachers on the job. Part of the Jobs Act that the president's proposing is about keeping teachers from losing their jobs, making sure that they don't get cut in these local budget cuts. So beyond that, yes, I agree that we need to control our spending. I think we do have a problem with our deficits and our long-term debt. But I will say this, I will not go to Washington to balance the budget on the backs of the old, the poor, or the sick. That's not where I'm going to start. What I want to do is go to Washington and talk about fair policy, shared sacrifice. I think that the millionaires and billionaires can afford to pay a little bit more in taxes so that we don't have to cut the teachers and the Medicare and the police and the safety net that keeps our country vital and strong. So I also think there are some redundant weapon systems that are on the chopping block that I think are fair. And again, we simply cannot afford a lot of the programs that have gone on over the years that are driven by special interests in politics. And that's another theme that came up in the conversations I had. This all ties together in the way I'm going about my campaign. And it ties together with this gathering right here today. Because what Congressman Bass has done is fund his campaigns, now going into the 8th one, with the special interest resources of oil companies, coal companies, nuclear companies, gas companies. He sits on a committee called the Energy and Commerce Committee. And if you look at his FEC statements, it's pretty obvious the connection. Oil company, gas, coal, nuclear, oil, gas, coal. And then sometimes you can even watch, he'll take a vote, 3 weeks later he'll get a check. Or it'll happen the other way around. He'll get a check, 3 weeks later he'll take a vote. And so the question really becomes, who's he representing in Congress? It's not all the rest of us. What I've done in my campaigns through the grassroots campaigning that we've done, and through reaching out to friends and neighbors and colleagues and former colleagues, is that I've been able to raise the resources to compete and to communicate, to get to voters so I can convince voters to come out and support us through small contributions, essentially, through people, real people. 90% of my contributions are individuals. With Charlie, it's 80% are corporate PACs. So, and although we have many very generous donors, and I'm grateful for every person that can write a $250 or $2,500 check, we have 20,000 donors under $25. So it's a whole different way of putting this together. And it means that I will have the luxury and the liberty to go down and represent you, and you, and you, and you, and the people of the 2nd District of New Hampshire. So I'm very proud to be able to change. I can't single-handedly change Washington, but I can sure give it a good try.